Hello, I hope all is progressing well. Welcome to I Don't Know, We Can Talk About It, where we discuss myriads of topics civilly, reasonably, and responsibly. My name is Kevin Dufresne. Our first topic is with regard to comprehending menopause in an educational environment, in an organization. The article engages with how menopause is affecting women, how women respond to menopause in an educational environment, and how being one experiencing different levels of menopause may bring one to experience being at work in a particular way. Considering the variances of menopause, of women experiencing menopause, of experiences at work, one may recognize the importance of addressing how such an impactful stage of one's life may be set to appropriate attention so women receive the appropriate supports. As the article mentions, there is evidence of pathways being set to address menopause. Beyond the article, there is evidence of organizations providing menopausal supports. The article touches on an area of finance, which is extremely important to comprehend when discussing health. How might any engage with financially supporting oneself with regard to one's healthful dynamics? The question may receive answering from many different perspectives. The reality is everyone's health situation may differ. So how might any educational environment approach offering supportive avenues to address menopause? Does an educational environment operate by financial standards that consider such realities existing outside of an educational environment for potential employees that may be coming into an educational environment, especially considering the detailing of such parameters may involve looking beyond comparing salaries to salaries between educational environments. The reality of how to address financial supports is present in the conversation, if not already happening to an impactful, effective degree. The other area of the conversation involves what may be more affordable with regard to creating spaces that allow for menopausal supports within an educational environment. So, individuals may find relief, may find the appropriate considerations of health within the work environment. As one may comprehend, eating is a part of sustenance. Eating is a part of ensuring one will be full. Hopefully, the nutrition is very healthy, so one may live and operate more efficiently, feeling better, attending to oneself nutritiously well. One may have to use a restroom, so one may recognize how important ensuring a restroom is available is for an environment, because where human beings are, human beings need attentions as to what pertains to humans being. So menopause is of research that is present not only recently, though regards how much more health as a field may grow through practical dimensions to ensure the full spectrums of human beings are receiving the utmost respect, especially considering sidelining of areas of health that do not consider the long-term impacts of the sidelining. All right. Our next topic is about how a pipeline may be set in higher education to ensure individuals of a state are going to receive appropriate attention, necessary supports that will benefit these individuals seeking to matriculate into higher education. The matching program is a pathway which is seeking to connect industry and education of a local dimension, which brings about great understanding of what may be possible for individuals that may be in education, growing through academic dimensions, trying to understand what may be ahead with one's academic efforts. A program of the sort of which the article is engaging with may greatly benefit ensuring the comprehensions link well to well support directional growth. So individuals may find purpose, may find intention that aligns with what life may be beyond academia, though in connection with academia. Engaging interests of individuals is extremely important. The match program seems to be engaging with the monitoring of constituents of educational environments so as to bring about more accessible options to fulfill potentials. Now, one may wonder what extent of outreach might be happening with particular details. Is the monitoring aware of interest to an extremely particular degree? Is the monitoring considering what may be happening if individuals may have experiences that may bring their educational experience to experiences of adverse effects, perhaps a lower GPA? So is the monitoring system addressing individuals that may need to go to community college? To the extent of matching is what the article leaves for one to discover for oneself, though the program, the concept, is extremely valuable to assess, especially considering individuals may greatly benefit from such a program in other states. There are many individuals in academic environments, all operating at different levels, all with interests of varying degrees. So being able to address a consensus statewide to an incremental particular degree is going to be valuable for informing what may be possible. All right, it's time for some origami. I have here a square sheet of origami paper. I'm gonna fold it point to point. Afterward, I'm going to just take one fold over to the edge on the other side. Then I'm going to fold in about halfway. From this direction, I will just fold over one portion to point, and I'm going to fold at somewhat of an angle here, up to the top, all the way up. So I can go like an accordion and just fold up. Giving some space so I can have this folding as such. From this direction now, I'm just going to open up the fold and begin to fold each layer with somewhat of a tuck in. So I'll just fold in a little bit, and if I want to secure an even deeper fold, we'll just refold inside. Just a little fold, a stabilizing fold, I'll call it. Just a nice little stabilizing fold there. And I can do this with every single step, just offering a little stabilizing fold. Now this is an origami ship, so one can get very, very creative in how one wants to design one's ship. One may be able to just leave these levels as such. You can get more of a 3D pop out of them if you just play with the folds a little bit. See? And these folds can give some kind of layering as to where people might be sitting, and really add a different dimension to this origami ship. So it's going. Very, very simple to make and quite adjustable. I champion reading physical books. When an individual reads a physical book, there are a lot of health benefits, one of which is the brain physically changes as one is reading a physical book. The new emotional intelligence. The text is quite thorough in examining different behavioral situations, especially that may happen with communication between persons, and the text addresses environments particularly. So one may find benefits in observing the text with dimensions of being at work. One may find more detailing of communication which regards how people are operating outside of work. Though the dynamics of comprehending how individuals may be engaging with emotional intelligence really revolves around the ideas that there are many ways to express oneself, to connect what one is attempting to say with how one might feel. Now, to comprehend the text in a lighter sense, one may observe the text as assisting one to be more mindful of how one thinks, of how one approaches behaviorally, of how one approaches communicatively, of the mediums of communication of which one is using, of how one might be perceiving. The text is not only of the external factors, though of what happens internally as well, involving research showing how individuals may operate on basis of certain beliefs and perceptions. So how one might be engaging with the world involves how one is seeking to address one's worldview with what is present to inform one's worldview, though what informs not so one is of a confirmation bias of one's worldview, though, so one is engaging with how one's mind may learn more of how to better engage the world at large of this independent reality of which everyone lives in. So individuals may find the text very particular, detailing what may be beneficial circumstantially and how one may go about with improving one's emotional intelligence. And the text offers a pathway of testing, so one may be able to address emotional intelligence in myriad ways and find practical grounding to ensure one is practicing how to be more mindful, engaging with how one is, how one wants to be, how one may be, so as to ensure the realms of which one engages with are safer, psychologically healthy, and going to receive contributions from one's maturity of self, of awareness of the beneficial information, the informing set to ensure one is growing mindfully. And I think the text is really offering a solid base of growth for individuals that are seeking to be more mindful, also for individuals that are seeking to be more mindful, not just of the approaching dynamics, but of the receptive dynamics of communication, of thinking, of being. Thanks for joining. I don't know. We can talk about it. Onward and Upward, Kevin Dufresne.